Tonight, Atlanta is holding its breath because Todd Tucker didn't just go live. He detonated a bomb that no one, not even Kandi's biggest haters, ever saw coming. In a trembling voice, with eyes red and hands shaking, Todd whispered one sentence that sent the entire internet into full meltdown mode. "I found something about Kandi and T.I." And once you hear it, everything changes. From that moment, blogs froze. Comment sections exploded. And even celebrities watching quietly suddenly backed out of the chat like they had just witnessed a crime scene. You could feel it. This wasn't jealousy. This wasn't pettiness. This wasn't another love and hip-hop style argument. This was a man on the edge, a husband whose world had crumbled in real time, holding back tears as he promised to expose one detail so dark, so unexpected, so career-ending that the entire entertainment industry is still trying to breathe. And just when viewers leaned in, waiting for him to spill everything, Todd's screen froze. He looked over his shoulder, and the live abruptly ended, but what he revealed before that cut, it was enough to set Atlanta on fire. And tonight, we're unpacking every second of it to understand why Todd Tucker's late-night breakdown has the entire city of Atlanta shaking. You need the full history, the kind of history people whispered about for years, but never had the courage to say out loud. Because this scandal didn't appear out of thin air, oh no. This was a storm that had been forming behind closed doors, deep within the walls of the Boris Tucker household. Long before Todd even pressed go live for years, fans believed Todd and Kandi were one of the strongest couples in the industry. They were business partners, reality TV regulars, and the poster couple for Black excellence in entertainment. But anyone who watched closely knew the cracks started forming the moment Todd realized the world saw him as Kandi's husband instead of an equal. That pressure didn't just bruise his ego, it shattered him piece by piece. People thought the tension came from money, power dynamics, and messy reality TV edits. But insiders whispered something else. Something darker. Something tied to Kandi's friendships, especially the one with T.I. Because if you rewind far enough, the energy between Kandi, T.I, and T.I was always complicated. They were close, almost too close at times. Jokes, inside comments, private parties, studio late nights, the type of things fans brushed off, but Todd noticed every single one. And every time Todd questioned the vibe, Kandi laughed it off, calling him paranoid or insecure. But paranoia doesn't look like this. Insecurity doesn't drive a grown man to collapse on Instagram Live. This was something else. And then there was the history between the couples, years of joint vacations, double dates, late-night dinners, and business collaborations. The lines between friendship and blurred boundaries started disappearing. Rumors about inappropriate conversations, overly friendly texts, and secret hangouts floated around for years. Nobody believed them until now because Todd's breakdown wasn't just a reaction. It was a release of something he had been holding in his chest like a burning coal, something that had been eating him alive from the inside. People forget that Todd has always played the background. He doesn't stir the pot. He doesn't chase attention. He doesn't do messy storylines for fun. So when he says he has a truth to tell, a truth about Kandi and T.I, the whole world pauses. Because Todd is the type who only speaks when the room is dead silent and the stakes are sky high. And let's talk about T.I for a second. A man who's no stranger to controversy, headlines, or suspicious allegations. Someone whose marriage to T.I has weathered more storms than any couple should ever experience. But through it all, Kandi was always right there, in the mix. In the circle, in the group chats, in the private spaces that no outsider could ever access. Now, ask yourself, why would Todd choose this moment, this exact night, to expose everything? Why would he aim directly at T.I, a man with power, influence, and an army of supporters who don't play about him? And most importantly, why would Todd risk everything, including his marriage, his safety, and his reputation, by revealing that one detail he claims will change everything? Because according to multiple alleged insiders who reached out within minutes of the live ending, this wasn't a new discovery. Todd didn't just find something today. He's been sitting on this information for months, watching, listening, waiting for the right moment. A moment when he couldn't hold it in anymore. A moment when betrayal finally outweighed loyalty, and what pushed him over the edge? Well, sources say it happened earlier that same evening. Todd reportedly saw something on Kandi's phone, a single notification, that confirmed his deepest fear. A notification linked to T.I, a message that wasn't supposed to exist. A message that instantly changed Todd's entire reality. They say Todd went silent for nearly an hour after seeing it. Just pacing, breathing hard, staring at the wall. Then, without warning, he grabbed his phone, sat in the dark, and hit live. No script, no plan, just raw pain, trembling hands. And a confession he knew would blow up the entire internet, a confession so powerful that even celebrities watching the live later admitted they had chills because Todd wasn't drunk. He wasn't emotional for no reason. He wasn't clout chasing. He was a man who had snapped, the calm, quiet storm finally turning into a tornado. And when he said the words, "I found something about Kandi and T.I," you could hear it. The heartbreak, the rage, the disbelief, the exhaustion. He wasn't exposing drama. He was exposing truth. His truth. The truth he had been forced to swallow for far too long. And now, the world isn't just watching a scandal unfold. It's watching a marriage fall apart in real time. And trust me, the moment you hear what Todd claimed he discovered, the moment you understand why he broke the way he did, you will never look at Kandi, Todd, or T.I the same way again because the bomb Todd dropped. It's only the beginning. The real chaos began at exactly 1:47 a.m. when Todd Tucker finally decided he couldn't live another second drowning in silence. According to alleged insiders, he had been pacing their bedroom like a man whose entire soul was on fire. The lights were off, the curtains were closed, and Kandi was downstairs in the kitchen pretending everything was normal, completely unaware that her entire world was about to collapse. Todd wasn't crying. He wasn't yelling. He was vibrating. The type of anger that comes when heartbreak mixes with shock and humiliation, so strong your chest feels like it's caving in. And then it happened. He looked down at Kandi's phone, the same phone he swore he would never touch, and that single notification lit up the screen like a match thrown onto gasoline, a preview message. From a name he never expected. A name that instantly made his stomach drop. Clifford, T.I.'s government name. Not T, not Tip, not the group chat, not the business line. No, it was a private message from Clifford Harris, sent directly to his wife's private number, the one even Tiny doesn't have, and the message? Not an emoji, not a joke, not a question, just 5 words. Delete the other one now. That was it. 5 words. But for Todd, those 5 words ended the marriage he thought he had, because if T.I was telling Kandi to delete the other one, that meant 2 things. There was another message, something she wasn't supposed to keep. They had a secret channel of communication Todd knew nothing about. That single notification burned Todd alive. He grabbed the phone. He opened the thread. He scrolled, but the previous messages were gone. Deleted, cleaned, hand-wiped. It was as if the conversation didn't exist, except for that one message that slipped through before she could erase it, and allegedly, this is where it gets dark. Todd's entire body froze when he scrolled up and found one single unsent message from Kandi still visible on her end, a message she typed, but didn't send. The words hit him like a bullet. "I can't keep covering for you." That was all he needed. That was all anyone would need. Covering what? Covering who? Covering WHY? Todd couldn't breathe. Insiders say he put the phone down slowly, like it was radioactive. Then he went into the bathroom, locked the door, stared at himself in the mirror, and whispered, "It's real. It's finally real." Minutes later, Kandi heard the door slam. She came upstairs calling his name, but Todd was already setting up his phone, already adjusting the angle, already preparing to drop the world's biggest bomb. And this is where the timeline gets messy, because people who were in Todd's live chat swear they saw something behind him. A shadow, a silhouette. Something or someone moving in the background before the screen froze. But before that happened, Todd said the line that changed everything. "Y'all have no idea what she's capable of." He wasn't talking about cheating. This wasn't about jealousy. This wasn't about insecurity. He was talking about a deeper betrayal, a betrayal connected directly to T.I. And then he leaned forward, wiped his face, and said the words that cracked the internet in half. Ask her why she was with T.I. at 3 a.m. last night. The chat exploded instantly. Thousands of comments. People sprinting to Twitter. Fans tagging Tiny. Bloggers screen recording every second. But Todd wasn't finished. He kept going, voice shaking, throat tight, eyes swollen, but every sentence was more devastating than the last. He claimed Kandi wasn't just texting T.I., she wasn't just meeting him late at night. She wasn't just deleting messages. She was lying to Todd while secretly protecting T.I. from something enormous. According to Todd, he had confronted her earlier that evening about a rumor he'd heard, a rumor connecting T.I., a studio session, and an after-hours meetup that didn't align with Kandi's schedule. At the time, she brushed him off, told him he was tripping, and said she was with a female friend, but Todd said he knew something was wrong when Kandi kept her phone face down during dinner. She never does that. And every time it vibrated, she tensed, flinched, panicked. He told the Liv, "I looked right at her, and she couldn't even make eye contact. That's how I knew." Then Todd dropped a claim so wild, so shocking, so unbelievably explosive that viewers couldn't even type fast enough. He said Kandi secretly met T.I. at a closed studio around 3:14 a.m., long after she said she was home. And he claimed she lied because something happened there, something so bad she thought hiding it was the only option. And right when the chat was begging Todd to explain what happened, he stopped talking. He looked over his shoulder. His eyes widened, then the screen glitched, froze, cut off. Fans thought it was Wi-Fi, but insiders swear it wasn't, because here's where the first twist hits like a sledgehammer. Minutes after the live ended, an anonymous Twitter account, one that has leaked accurate love and hip-hop tea before, posted a chilling message. Todd only found half of it. The real secret is in the screenshot she forgot to delete. The post included a blurred image. People enhanced it, zoomed in, filtered it. And what they found looked like the corner of a message bubble, green. From Kandi's phone, only 3 words were visible. Same place again? The internet detonated. Thousands of users reposted it. Whole threads formed overnight. People began connecting dots, late-night meetups, deleted texts, private numbers, strange energy between Kandi and T.I. on red carpets. Fans said it out loud for the first time. Was this an affair? Were they covering up something deeper? What did Todd see that broke him? Meanwhile, Todd went completely silent. No posts, no stories, no comments. His phone went black, and the part that made everything 10 times worse? Kandi posted nothing. No denial, no explanation, no reassurance, just silence, which, in scandals like this, is louder than any confession. And while the world was trying to figure out the meaning of that message, another rumor started circulating, an even darker one, a rumor claiming that someone else was present at that studio session. Someone who wasn't supposed to be there. Someone whose name could blow this entire situation wide open. And that rumor leads directly into the next twist. Because what Todd thought he discovered was only the surface. The real truth was so much deeper and involving people he never expected. And when that truth came out, Atlanta stopped breathing. What happened next didn't just intensify the chaos, it completely distorted it. Because just when people thought Todd's accidental confession was the end of the story, a brand new layer of madness ripped through the internet like wildfire. It started when a small, unverified gossip page posted something they claimed came from a studio staff member who overheard everything that happened the moment Todd walked off that live. According to this so-called insider, Todd didn't just end the stream because he panicked. He ended it because someone in the room grabbed his phone and threatened to shut everything down if he said another word. And the craziest part? Fans swore they heard a faint voice in the background right before the livestream cut. A voice people instantly recognized. It wasn't Kandi I. It wasn't a friend. It was someone with direct ties to T.I. And suddenly the internet didn't know whether this was a marriage scandal, a celebrity secret, or something a whole lot deeper and a whole lot darker. For the next hour, blogs went insane trying to piece together the tiniest clues from Todd's tone, his expression, the way he kept looking over his shoulder like he was being watched. People slowed down the video to catch small details, like the reflection in the mirror behind him. Several viewers claimed they saw a shadow that didn't belong to anyone in the house. Another claimed they saw someone reach for Todd's phone right before the screen froze. And that's when the narrative shifted from suspicious to explosive, because if Todd was scared to talk, that meant the secret wasn't just personal, it was dangerous. The escalation hit another level when a screen recording surfaced from someone who joined the live within the first 10 seconds. And in that version, Todd wasn't just nervous. He was whispering something to himself that people could barely make out. Audio editors online enhanced the clip and reposted it everywhere. And once the words became clear, people were stunned. Todd said, "They told me not to open that door. They said if I talk, everything goes down." That one line sent T.I.'s fan base into full defensive mode and Kandi's fan base into complete meltdown. Suddenly, hashtags started trending. People were accusing T.I. of intimidation. Others accused Todd of exaggerating. And a large group claimed the entire situation had to do with something that happened years ago, a moment nobody ever got the full details on. A moment both Kandi and T.I. pretend never happened, but things got even more chaotic when a blurry photo leaked. The picture showed Todd standing outside a building that fans identified as a private studio T.I. uses for closed-door sessions. According to the caption, Todd visited that studio less than 48 hours before the livestream. He wasn't alone. He was seen arriving with two people who definitely didn't look like regular staff. The photo blew open every conspiracy theory imaginable. Some said the studio meeting was about a business deal gone wrong. Some said it was about a long-buried feud resurfacing. And a huge wave of viewers insisted it had everything to do with the secret Todd was threatening to expose. But the story didn't stop there. Things escalated further when a new voice entered the conversation. A well-known producer who worked with Kandi years ago posted a cryptic tweet that read, "If Todd starts talking, the whole timeline of events changes. Don't let them fool you." Within 15 minutes, the tweet was deleted, but the damage was already done. People took screenshots, reposted them everywhere, and demanded answers. Because if a producer was hinting that the timeline of events wasn't what the public thinks, that meant the secret wasn't just a private detail, it was connected to something the industry intentionally hid. Meanwhile, a fan page uncovered that Kandi had suddenly canceled a scheduled appearance. She didn't explain why. She didn't reschedule. She simply vanished from the event lineup with zero notice. People immediately linked the cancellation to Todd's meltdown. Some were convinced Kandi was trying to contain the situation before it spiraled any further. Others insisted she was already in meetings with lawyers. And then a rumor started spreading that Kandi had confronted Todd after the live and demanded answers about what he said. One anonymous source claimed the confrontation wasn't just emotional, it was explosive. According to them, Todd yelled that he was tired of protecting everyone but himself. The source said Kandi responded by telling him that if he shared what he knew, we all go down together, and that one quote sent viewers into full panic. Because what could they possibly both know that would put their entire livelihood at risk? That's when the second twist hit the internet like a thunderbolt. An anonymous Reddit post emerged claiming that Todd's emotional breakdown wasn't just about a secret, it was about a document. A physical document. Something he allegedly found in a drawer in their home, tucked inside an old folder tied to a project Kandi worked on years ago. The post claimed that the document wasn't signed by Kandi alone. T.I.'s name was on it too. The post described it as a private agreement that both of them allegedly wanted buried forever. And if the post was telling the truth, that agreement supposedly linked Kandi and T.I. to something the public never should have known existed. At first, the post seemed fake. But then something strange happened. Multiple fans noticed that right after the Reddit thread started going viral, Kandi's team issued a quick, abrupt statement denying online rumors that distort past events. The statement didn't mention Todd, didn't mention T.I, didn't mention a document. But just the fact that they responded at all was enough to ignite every suspicion into a full-blown inferno. And the part that terrified fans even more was the wording. Distort past events, not fabricate, not invent, not lie, just distort. That meant something happened. People began digging for any past incidents involving Kandi and T.I, something they may have done together, something they may have hidden, something big enough to destroy reputations if exposed. And as viewers pieced things together, a pattern started to form. A timeline that revealed suspicious coincidences, unexplained disappearances, sudden financial shifts, abandoned projects, and interviews where Kandi looked uncomfortable anytime T.I.'s name was mentioned, but just when the online detectives thought they uncovered something solid. A third leak hit the internet, one that made everything 10 times worse. A supposed voicemail surfaced, allegedly of Todd speaking to someone the night before the livestream. In the recording, he said, "I don't know how much longer I can keep this from blowing up. Everyone acted like it never happened. But I saw the proof. And now they're threatening me to stay quiet. Whether the voicemail was real or fake didn't matter. It spread too fast. Every blog, every gossip page, every YouTube analyst reposted it within the hour. And the more people listened, the more they asked one terrifying question. What exactly did Todd see? And why was he suddenly the one being silenced?" As the chaos reached its peak, a new wave of speculation emerged. People began whispering about a night, one specific night that both Kandi and T.I always dodge questions about. Some say it was a party. Some say it was a meeting. Some say it was something much more serious. Whatever it was, fans became convinced that the detail Todd threatened to expose was connected to that night. And that brings us to the biggest problem of all. The internet isn't sure whether Todd is trying to protect Kandi, expose T.I, or shield himself from something far bigger than all of them. But one thing is certain, whatever the secret is, Todd is not the only one who knows. And the people behind it? They're running out of patience because as this mystery grows, one thing becomes painfully clear. Someone does not want the truth getting out, and they're willing to do anything to stop it. By the time the sun came up the next morning, the internet wasn't just buzzing, it was boiling. What started as a shaky, late-night confession from Todd Tucker had turned into a full-scale digital riot, and everyone from college kids to grandmas to industry executives had picked a side. Fans woke up confused, scouring every page for updates, while others stayed up all night replaying the livestream frame by frame like detectives solving a crime scene. And the more people watched, the more the conversation spiraled into something that felt sickeningly real. Twitter became a battlefield. One side insisted Todd was being manipulated and silenced. The other side swore he was dramatic and overreacting. And in the middle of it all, thousands of fans demanded answers from Kandi, who stayed completely silent. That silence said more than any tweet ever could. People started posting screenshots of Kandi's previous interviews, stitching clips where she looked tense every time someone mentioned T.I.'s name. Suddenly, old moments that fans never questioned before now looked suspicious, calculated, and carefully avoided. And then, a new wave of chaos hit when a popular gossip podcast released an emergency episode titled "What is Kandi Hiding?" Within minutes, it shot to the top of trending charts. The hosts claimed one of their sources, someone who allegedly worked with both Kandi and T.I, told them this situation had been brewing for years. They said the detail Todd almost exposed was something insiders whispered about privately but never dared to say in public. According to the hosts, several well-known producers were already panicking, afraid that if this secret came out, multiple careers would be dragged into the fire. Other celebrities jumped into the conversation, adding fuel to an already exploding situation. A singer who once had beef with Kandi tweeted, "Should have told the truth a long time ago." Fans immediately assumed they were referring to Todd's revelation. Minutes later, the tweet was deleted, but the screenshots spread like wildfire. People began tagging Kandi, demanding she address the situation. Kandi still said nothing, and the silence only deepened the suspicion. Meanwhile, TikTok turned into a full-time investigation board. Creators made elaborate theory videos connecting old rumors, interviews, backstage footage, and timelines. One creator went viral claiming Todd's confession was connected to a missing segment from an old reality show episode. Another claimed T.I once let slip something during an interview that hinted at a secret pact between him and Kandi. None of these theories had proof, but the internet didn't care. The thirst for answers became uncontrollable, and speculation felt more powerful than facts. YouTube analysts added their own chaos, dropping our long breakdowns with titles like "Todd tried to warn us" and "The truth they tried to bury." They dissected Todd's body language, Kandi's sudden disappearance from social media, and T.I.'s refusal to acknowledge the rumors. One analyst even claimed they received an anonymous message saying, "If Todd talks, Atlanta changes forever." Viewers reposted that screenshot everywhere, pushing the narrative that this wasn't just a personal drama, it was an industry secret on the verge of collapsing. Then the news outlets stepped in. At first, mainstream entertainment sites dismissed the rumors as exaggerated gossip. But when the leaked voicemail and the Reddit thread resurfaced for the 10th time, the tone changed. Articles started dropping with phrases like "unconfirmed reports," "rumored tensions," and "sources suggest deeper issues." They didn't officially accuse anyone of anything. They didn't need to. The implication alone added legitimacy to the madness. And once big platforms began hinting at a potential scandal, the industry started panicking. Behind closed doors, people close to Kandi allegedly began scrambling. Her team reportedly held an emergency image strategy meeting, trying to figure out how to stop the wildfire before it burned down her entire brand. One anonymous assistant claimed there were arguments, raised voices, and people insisting the situation was more serious than the public realizes, and based on how quickly Kandi canceled another appearance. Fans believed it. Meanwhile, T.I.'s camp handled things differently. Instead of staying silent, they doubled down on control. A rumor spread that his team contacted multiple blog pages privately, instructing them to avoid amplifying misinformation. But that move backfired massively. People interpreted it as intimidation. Comments flooded in asking why T.I.'s camp was trying to shut down the conversation if there was nothing to hide. And then there were the fans, thousands of them arguing non-stop in comment sections. Some begged Todd to go live again. Others accused him of creating unnecessary drama. A large group insisted he was in danger. One comment went viral. "Todd didn't stutter, he was scared." Another fan wrote, "If he wasn't telling the truth, why delete everything?" The division grew worse when a well-known R&B artist posted a cryptic message on Instagram. Some secrets were never meant to come out. No names, no details. But with the timing, everyone knew who they were talking about. Their comment section immediately turned into a battlefield of accusations, questions, and wild theories. Within hours, the industry felt split down the middle. Some celebrities quietly unfollowed Kandi. Others unfollowed T.I. A few even unfollowed both, fearing they'd get dragged into something they wanted no part of. Fans tracked the unfollows like hawks, claiming every social media move was a clue. The situation escalated even further when a backstage crew member from a show Kandi worked on posted a throwaway comment under a viral tweet. They wrote, "Y'all don't know the half of it." The comment was deleted, but not before being screenshotted and analyzed in hundreds of videos. People wanted answers, and every deleted comment looked like proof that there was something huge lurking underneath the surface. The story reached such a height that even people who normally avoided drama couldn't escape it. Talk shows discussed it. Radio hosts speculated about it. Commentators debated whether Todd's confession was a breaking point or a calculated move. And still no one had a clear answer. But the most shocking part wasn't the speculation, the rumors. Or the division. It was the growing feeling that this wasn't just entertainment gossip anymore. Something about Todd's fear, Kandi's silence, T.I.'s response, and the sudden scramble behind the scenes hinted at something much bigger, something deep, something that people in the industry didn't want exposed. And the public? They weren't backing down. They wanted the truth, and they were ready to drag it out by force if they had to. Just when everyone thought the chaos had reached its peak, something happened that flipped the entire situation upside down. It started quietly, almost too quietly, like the calm before a storm. A small, newly created account posted a message that sent a ripple through the timeline. At first, nobody took it seriously, but within minutes, the post exploded across every platform, shutting down all the older theories and igniting an even more terrifying one. The message claimed one thing: Todd was not the only person who knew the truth. Someone else had the same information, and they were finally ready to speak. The account posted a single sentence: Todd wasn't lying. I saw the agreement too. No photos, no receipts, no explanation. But the timing, the wording, the audacity of it, everything about it sounded like a direct threat to the people trying to silence this story. And that's when panic hit the internet all over again. People scrambled to identify the account owner, combing through follows, likes, even timestamps. But the profile was nearly empty. No name, no background, no connections. And that silence felt louder than anything Todd had said so far. The speculation was instant. Some insisted it had to be someone close to Kandi. Others swore it was someone from T.I.'s circle. A few even claimed it was a former employee who finally had enough. But the scariest theory of all came from a user who noticed something unusual in the account's posting pattern. The messages were going up at the exact same time certain celebrities were active, online celebrities connected to both Kandi and T.I., and suddenly, it didn't look like a random person. It looked calculated. While the internet tore itself apart trying to figure out who this new voice was, something even more shocking happened. A clip leaked. The grainy, shaky footage appeared to show Todd pacing back and forth in what looked like a dressing room. He was holding a folder, the same folder fans believed held the now infamous agreement. His voice cracked as he said, "They think I'm bluffing, but they don't know what I have." Another voice in the background responded, "If they push you again, go public. Don't let them bury it." The clip cut off there, but that was enough. Fans were convinced Todd wasn't acting. He wasn't exaggerating. He was scared. He was trapped in something darker than marital drama, darker than celebrity tension, darker than any gossip channel had dared to imagine. Then something colder happened. Kandi reappeared online. But she didn't speak. She posted a single, silent picture of herself sitting in a studio, hands folded, expression unreadable. No caption, no explanation. And the eerie calmness of that image shook fans to their core. It didn't look like peace. It looked like preparation. Minutes later, T.I. posted a response too. He didn't mention Todd. He didn't mention Kandi. He simply wrote, "People talk when they're pressured. People lie when they're scared. Let the truth find its way." That sentence reignited every theory like gasoline hitting a match. Was he threatening Todd? Mocking him? Warning him? Or was he hinting that Todd was the one hiding something? As the internet kept digging, the mysterious account posted again, this time clearer, sharper, more direct. Check the timestamps. The message read, "Look at who was there. Start with the night they never talk about." That one line shifted everything. Because for years, fans whispered about one night, a night involving Kandi, T.I., and several unnamed associates. A night that was supposed to stay forgotten. A night that supposedly led to projects being canceled, friendships dissolving, and multiple insiders suddenly retiring from the industry. For years, it was dismissed as rumor. Now, it didn't feel like a rumor anymore. It felt like a fuse had been lit. And then, the final twist hit. A document was leaked. Not the full thing. Not the signature page. Just a blurry image showing what looked like the header of an agreement dated years ago with two visible initials K, B, and C, H. The names were blurred, but The initials alone were enough to send fans spiraling. People slowed the image down, reversed it, enhanced it, argued over it for hours. But the real shock came from the caption attached to the leak. "This is only the beginning." The internet erupted. Was the document real? Who leaked it? Why now? And what did the rest of the agreement contain? Panic spread across fan bases, industry circles, gossip sites, and private group chats. The situation had evolved from a scandal to a mystery, and now it felt like a countdown. One final post appeared from the anonymous account before it vanished without warning. Todd didn't tell everything. Gee, someone else will. And with that, everything went silent. No confirmations, no denials, no statements. Just an echoing silence that felt heavier than any revelation, because now the world knew the most terrifying part. Todd only opened the door. Someone else is about to walk through it. And now we're standing at the edge of something that feels bigger than gossip, bigger than drama, bigger than anything Atlanta has seen in years. Todd Tucker cracked open a door he was never supposed to touch. A mysterious voice stepped forward with claims that shouldn't exist. A blurry document surfaced just long enough to shake the entire industry. And with every hour that passes, the silence from Kandi, T.I, and everyone around them only gets louder and scarier. But here's the truth nobody wants to admit. This story is nowhere near finished. What we've seen so far is just the spark. The real fire hasn't even started yet. Todd didn't expose the full detail. The anonymous account vanished before giving the complete picture. The leaked document only showed a fraction of something much deeper. And every single person involved is acting like they're bracing for impact. So now I want to hear from you. What do you think Todd found? Do you believe the document was real? Do you think Kandi is hiding something she never expected to face in public? Or is T.I the one controlling the narrative from behind the scenes? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because right now the internet is divided, confused, and desperate for answers, and your voice is part of this investigation. And if you're new here, go ahead and subscribe, because this story is just beginning. More leaks are coming. More voices are stepping forward. And based on the messages we're already receiving behind the scenes, the next part of this saga might be the most explosive twist yet. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the next update. Because when the truth drops, it won't come quietly. It's coming like a storm. Coming like a storm.